So this is how we're going to weed out all the people who are patient in the audience, and they're the ones with the largest delayed gratification. So this is actually a secret ploy to only give away the best secrets that we have and the most breaking news. Let's give it away to those of you who deserve it. Since our intro isn't working, I'm going to refer you to watch it elsewhere because we've posted it several places. And we're going to go ahead and start the show because there's so much exciting news that we have to share with you tonight that I'm extremely confident that it's not only going to pump the price, but it's going to, again, go beyond currency. That's what we're doing with this show is we're talking about health, talking about mental health and physical health, and helping you to improve your outlook for the future. And I've got my co-host with me tonight, Joe HEXotic.
Hey everybody, how's it going? Happy to be here. Thank you, Maddie. Thanks for having me. Looking forward to it. Let's get busy.
Let's do it. So some of you were there 2 nights ago when we rated Gives a Minute, right? And that got me thinking, right? Gives a Minute is always doing these big deals whenever somebody follows and subscribes, right? He does this thing where he's like, you know, you give me a minute, I give you a minute. We're both creators, right? And so I wanted to hexify that. That's a new word. Hexify that, and make this the most interactive live stream that's ever happened in HEX. Okay, and so. The problem we were running into before is it's kind of hard to present all these amazing ideas and read the comments and be going back and forth. And so, but I really want to hear from the audience and I want to know what really, really matters to you and which topics we're talking about. Like which of these 9 narratives are the most popular, right? And so we came up with a game, right? HEX runs on game theory. And so we've got a new game to play tonight to make this the most interactive stream ever. And so instead of giving a minute, we're going to give a tweet, okay? And so as we go over these narratives, if you create a tweet and you tag me in it, my phone will go off and it'll make a noise. And so even if we get 10 people playing this game, the phone is going to be going off over and over and over again. It's going to, I think, create some excitement, and it'll make an easy way for the audience to vote on which ideas are the best, which content is the best. And that'll help us to know how much time to spend on that topic, reading your comments, and making a great discussion out of each of these 9 new narratives that will pump HEX to the moon, right?
So we're going to utilize Twitter, Maddie?
Yes.
Okay.
Did you guys hear that? Joe, did you hear that?
Yeah, absolutely. We're going to utilize Twitter, right? So if
that's right.
Your phone blowing up. Yeah.
So my phone will give us the notifications when the audience likes something that we're talking about, right?
Okay.
Making this the most interactive show ever. It's not Gives a Minute, it's Gives a Tweet, right?
That's right.
That's the game we're playing tonight.
It's a great idea. I like it.
Now, in order to set up the audience to allow them to have the maximum number of votes and interactions, right? I want to go over just kind of some setup stuff, right? So for me on my D Live, whenever I'm watching a stream, then I can't go to my Twitter. And if I do, then I won't be able to hear what's happening on the stream. And we want everybody to hear the discussion that we're having. And as we read the comments and as we get excited about the topics, right, we want to be able to all be in the same place, hearing the same things and participating. So much love to D Live. But if you have a second device, you can stay on D Live, and you can get on Twitter on your other device, and then you'll be on D Live, right, on one of them. And then you'll be able to do tweets at the same time that we're having our discussion and you're listening to it. Now, if you don't have a second device with you, what we can do is we can send you over to Periscope, right? And Periscope on my phone allows me to listen, but also be doing stuff in other apps. Oh, it looks like the audience is already participating. Some people have already figured this out. Now, if you're on YouTube, YouTube, as far as I know, if you have a subscription, it'll let you be off the screen. And like my face is gonna hurt from the amount of smiling that I'm gonna do hearing that going off, right?
Maddie,
and I think with
for everyone who doesn't know, what's your Twitter? I did write it in the D Live, but what is your Twitter?
So that's the other thing that we're gonna set up here is we're gonna want to make it so that you guys can make the most quality tweets possible, right? And so we're going to be giving you lots of like URL names and stuff. And I would encourage you to pick out all the nuggets that we're going to be dropping tonight and put your own spin on it, right? I think it's going to be great for you to develop any of the ideas that we're creating here. And then unlike the D-Live comments, which as far as I know, seem to kind of disappear along the way, these we'll have a record that we'll be able to go back to of what all the comment activity was, what the tweet storm was, if you will. So in order to get to my Twitter, you're going to go to twitter.com/MattyAllen, all in, just one of those. So twitter.com/MattyAllin, okay? And you get there, if you follow me, it'll probably make a noise. If you at me, what is it, Joe, what is it called?
Follow.
Follow, or what about when you're making a tweet and then you mention somebody? Is that called a mention?
A mention, retweet, a follow, a comment. All of those will let us know with the sound.
Okay.
And everybody, I am at Hexotic Joe, HEXOTICJOE.
That's right.
Hexotic Joe.
And so if you tag both of us, the sound will go off for both of us, and then we'll really know what's going on, right? And what you're voting for and what you're loving, and we'll be able to see how your ideas are relating to ours, and how we can continue to build HEX into this community that's never existed before, right? And so let's see. So we got our setup down. We're giving people a moment to let's see. Joe, can you turn that down just a little bit?
Yep.
And how about for mine, next time it goes off, let me know if the sound is too quiet or too loud. And this is fun already. I'm so excited about this. I don't know that this has been done before, has it?
Not that I've seen.
Okay. Well, HEX is making history, and so why can't we as well? Okay. Did you hear that?
It sounds like music.
Yeah, it's music to my ears. I'll put my phone like in my pocket here. Yeah, that's better sound. Awesome. Great. Well, thanks everybody for getting set up. I know the setup process is a little bit, but we have a lot of awesome narratives, a lot of awesome content to share with you here. So without any further ado, let's go ahead and make that happen. So go ahead, if you're loving this idea of having gives a tweet, right? If you're loving gives a tweet, the new interactive game from the HEX community, if you're loving that, then go ahead and tweet something about that, right? Since we're making history, I think that would be an awesome thing for you to tweet. And it might pull some more people into the show here live. And I think our goal tonight is to just all get so annoyed with the sound of the Twitter notification that we'll have to customize it or something, right?
And everyone, don't forget to hashtag HEX and HEX coin, just so we can get that out.
I love that. And the crowd loves it, you know? as we go through these 9 narratives, then we're gonna try to have a discussion so that you'll have plenty of time to vote with your notification sounds. So before we get into the list of 9 or 10 narratives, we have 2 points that we want to make. One is that we're going to do a giveaway at the end, and we're going to do this giveaway is going to be different than has ever been done before. Last time what we did is we had people guess a number in the comments, and that was kind of fun. But I think this time it's going to be a little bit more HEX related, and it's going to be a little bit more exciting. So we're going to be doing a giveaway, and the giveaway prize is another one of these, $200 value. It is a $100 trillion bill from the year Bitcoin was created, and a 1 cent bill from Zimbabwe. And instead of a Bitcoin, it's going to be an Ethereum coin that you can label when the stake is done. And stake wisely, my friends. Right? This frame kind of, you can Velcro it to the wall, or you can set it on your shelf. It'll stand up. Very pretty, very lovely. $200 value. We're going to be giving it away at the end of the stream, so stick around. Joe, how are you doing tonight?
I'm doing good, Maddie. Looking forward to this. I'm excited to hear what the 9 narratives are going to be. I got some surprises in there, I hope. Oh,
we love the 9 narratives. Yeah. The second point before we get into those that we're going to make is I just wanted to esteem you and give you all of my praise, right? Because last night you and I were making the intro for our show, which I just keep watching over and over again because I love it. I don't know why. Well, I do know why. One of the reasons is because you actually made the music for that, and you have an extensive music making career. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Sure. Yeah, I used to spend a lot of time making music. I went to a school that's well known in Florida for recording arts. I stayed for my bachelor's in music business and got my master's in entertainment business there. And then I also studied from a well-known school in Boston. I studied music theory, music production, and then I even went to a school in New York to learn how to DJ. So wow. I love to spend my time, just messing around. I have a home studio, and when we were putting together the video last night, the idea came up about what we were going to use for music. It can't use anything copyrighted, or once it gets forwarded to YouTube, it will be taken down with a copyright strike. So I had some songs that don't have any samples or royalty free. Everything, the melodies came from my head, and our intro song is one of them. So I sent you a few last night, and I was happy with the one that you liked because I thought that was a perfect song for an intro. So I think the video came out. I think it came out great, Maddie, and you have a tremendous work ethic to be doing everything you're doing.
Thank you.
To have that materialize as quick as it did last night, and you just kept plugging away at it. That was pretty amazing. So great job.
Thank you. Well, I mean, yeah, the great job is all yours. Sorry, I'm like, so you triggered this awesome idea. So there's a Buddhist quote, right? And I think it applies to HEX. It's called "The Master in the Art of Living." And this is, go ahead and anything we talk about tonight, go ahead and tweet it out if you like the idea, if you like what we're talking about. So there's a really awesome quote that inspired me to increase my work ethic early on in life, and I'm so grateful for my mentors who have shared it with me. So let me share it with you here. This quote is an unknown Buddhist quote, and it says that the master in the art of living makes little distinction between his work and his play, his labor and his leisure, his mind and his body, his education and his religion. He hardly knows which is which. He simply pursues his vision of excellence in whatever he does, leaving others to decide whether he is working or playing. To him, he's always doing both.
That's beautiful. I love that, Maddie. I've never heard that before.
So when the HEX community comes together, and shout out to RG3, who was talking about this earlier, that there's so much talent in the HEX community. And Joe, you're one of the people who is so super talented. I was blown away with your music making abilities.
Wow, thank you, man.
Because I know you've succeeded in marketing and business before, and you've succeeded in your personal life, in building a wonderful family, and making it through your master's degree. And so I'm like, I'm still getting to know you as like, even though we became instant close friends as soon as we met in the comments section. But was it Discord Syndicate?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Thank you, RG3, once again. Shout out to RG3.
So without further ado, now you haven't heard these, right? These are like hot off the press.
Ooh, I can't wait. I'm excited.
Why do we? This is an awesome graphic, but here we go. What do you think? This?
I like that.
Okay, so the first narrative, like, let's get warmed up. I love this narrative. So many of you may know Taylor Kennedy, right? Taylor Kennedy is an awesome writer who writes about HEX, and he's really involved in a lot of design decisions that get made, and he's just a brilliant mind. I'm a huge fan, and Taylor Kennedy recently said that all eyes in crypto are on HEX, right? And it's true, right? HEX has come up into the top 10 coins, and all of the top influencers, right, are speaking behind the scenes about HEX, and they're all watching our content, right? And they're trying to position themselves, maybe. Joe, what do you think about this? This idea that Taylor said all eyes are on HEX.
I think you couldn't be more right. It's captivated me, and I just love sharing it with people. So it's amazing to see it growing at the pace that it is, and the community is, really getting involved with one another and creating a lot of content. We've had a lot of great role models out there with Hexo, Crypto Coffee, RG3, Dollar Cost, funding Jim, One Bit. Who else? Who am I missing? There's so many. There's Brennan, Steph. Everybody making great content out there, and it really inspired me to want to get involved and try to utilize anything that I could as far as my marketing background and meeting you, Maddie. It's made it very simple to get the creativity going, because you're so creative. So just like every other member of this community, it's amazing what's happening, and there's a lot of people working together, and somebody like Taylor has a voice already that is very beneficial for the community. So it's amazing that he's focusing on HEX.
Now that we have all of the eyes in crypto on us, let's give them a show, right? Right? Let's make them so jealous, not just of our gains, but of our community, right? Crypto is going to be so jelly. Finish that statement. Make a tweet and finish that statement, right? Crypto is going to be so jelly of HEX, not only because of the price, right, but also because of the community. ... You guys are going to have to help me with this. This is my first time doing a crazy interactive show like this, but you get the idea, right?
Good start. I like it.
I also wanted to shout out to speak more on Taylor's character, because I was blown away by something that happened just a day or two ago. Richard had tweeted out this amazing article, right? And it it was being seen by, I think, thousands, if not tens of thousands of people, right? And like I started reading it, of course, because we all love everything that Richard puts out. Like many of us are glued to it, right?
Yeah,
and,
absolutely.
Talk about work ethic, you know, like Richard is modeling so many good behaviors, right? His intelligence and his honesty and his not charity, but like his giving. I mean, he gives away knowledge. He gives away billions of dollars worth of tokens. Like, you know, we've all been tweeting about that for a long time, right? The how awesome Richard is and all the things that he gives us as a community, right? And so so Richard had tweeted out that that there was this article, and so I started reading the article. I said, "Wait a second! Oh my God, Taylor wrote this, but it was filed under a different writer." And it turns out that somebody had stolen Taylor's work and republished it. And wow. So when I pointed this out to Taylor, he reached out and said that he was totally cool with it because he simply wants the message of HEX to get out there. And so he is not looking for any personal gain. Well, I don't want to speak for Taylor, but all I'm saying is I'm so impressed with his sharing of ideas and his awesome style of writing that it can be picked out so easily. So I think that's a good example of the people in HEX are all characters that have character.
Absolutely, and anyone that's a real artist that cares about what they create, they're more than happy to have somebody else share that content. That is amazing, though, that somebody would try to pass it off as their own, and he would still be okay with that. But I get it. It's just like making music. I would be flattered in a sense that somebody would want to take a song that I made and use it for something. There's a limit to everything, and it's amazing that his approach is for the betterment of the community and just to get that message out there.
I'm not hearing the phone go off, and so I think that's maybe the crowd saying that they want us to like go to the comments, maybe.
Cool.
Or move on to the next topic. I'm not sure which.
Let's try the next topic because I'm keeping an eye out for the comments. It's
awesome. What are people saying? I want to make sure that we're including everybody in our discussions.
They're letting us know that they're following us, how they've interacted with us.
The Annette says, "Love Taylor." Hey, so the Annette, another example. The first person I looked at, right, is an amazing community member who she has created something called the Annette Challenge. Now we might have to add this, right, because I'm starting to get the feeling that we're going to come up with way more than 9 narratives, right? and some of them are going to be repeats of narratives that have already been out there because HEX is so good at promoting, the HEX community is so good at promoting HEX, right? And so enthusiastic. And Annette is the top person who is promoting things in an active, interesting way, who is creating real world challenges. So Joe, have you heard of the Annette Challenge?
I have not, Maddie. I'm not familiar with that at all.
We love the Annette Challenge. The Annette Challenge is where you go to where they sell computers, right? Might be a Best Buy, might be a Circuit City. Those don't exist anymore.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Anywhere where they're, they got computers sitting out, and you can use demo mode and play around with it, right?
Yeah.
The Annette Challenge is where you go and you load the HEX.com website on every computer.
Okay, then, I'm gonna go to the Apple Store this week to get something fixed. So I could certainly take part in that.
Yes, and we love the Annette Challenge, and people are going to when you do the Annette Challenge, make sure to take a picture like, all the computers lined up, like all having the Hex website on there. And,
That's awesome. What a great idea.
Yeah.
What a great idea, that.
So she came up with that. She came up with the whole campaign against CoinMarketCap, whatever their official name is.
What are the details on that?
It was well, for me, it was such an awesome call to action, right? And it got me starting to, I guess, create things that I wasn't creating already, because it seems like it was this moment where the entire Hex community planned this day, right? That Annette had chosen to publicize the issue that CoinMarketCap was gatekeeping, and still is, right? Yeah. And so this was a preview, right? This extremely successful moment in Hex history, where I don't know if I can call her Annette, or if I should be more formal, the Annette.
Miss Annette, Miss the Annette, yeah.
Yes.
It's the Annette, yeah. I think that's the right way to say it.
Yeah, because we want everybody who isn't following her to follow her. So she's the master of calls to action, and she says, "Hey, thanks, Maddie. Thank you. Like, seriously, it's so awesome that we and this stream might go on for quite some time, right? Because we're going to keep running into examples around every corner of people in Hex who are creating amazing narratives, right? And so this first narrative, the theme is kind of the Hex community, right? It's the people in Hex, the characters who have character, right? So when she did the challenge, it was a moment that brought the Hex community together, and it is a preview of what's going to happen on Big Payday, right? And so that actually takes us to the next narrative. I'm going to change the order here because we got a perfect transition here. So, by the way,
Annette said just Annette is good, by the way, Maddie.
We're on a first name basis where we're dropping the right?
Dropping the surname.
You can learn more about Taylor Kennedy's writing and appreciate him and follow him and learn from him at tdlrtaylor.medium.com. So if you're making tweets, if you've already made a tweet about Taylor and about the Hex community having characters with character, go ahead and I think you can add to the tweet, right? You can comment on your own tweet.
Yeah.
Create a subtweet, and you can add his link so that then people, when they get excited about that narrative, that they'll be able to do something. That they'll be able to follow him. It's TDLR. I really like that. So Joe, what does that mean? It's a computer hacker term?
I thought it was something to do with being a hard of hearing and watching entertainment, but I must be way off.
The comments can tell us what TDLR means. It means there's a 10-second delay.
That's what
it
means.
Means something clever. Too long didn't read, but it's used in a sarcastic tone, right?
TLDR. I thought it was TDLR.
Oh, did I say it wrong?
I don't know. That's what I just maybe.
Am I giving people the wrong? Giving people the wrong link.
So it's TLDR, Maddie, right?
Okay.
Too long didn't read.
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So go ahead and I don't think you can edit a tweet. Obviously you can tell I'm learning how to use Twitter.
There's no editing.
You can't edit a tweet, so just I don't know, scrap that one and redo it.
Yeah.
My apologies.
Yeah.
I apologize on that one. We just sent a bunch of people to the wrong, some other tailors.
I could have heard you wrong.
So it's too long, didn't read. TLDR Taylor, TAYLOR.medium.com. And okay.
I shared his Twitter account also in the D-Live
chat.
Awesome.
Yeah. And when we did our first stream, Joe, you and I, we talked about this article that Taylor did that is highlights another person in the HEX community who has a beautiful story, David Fetter. So shout out David Fetter.
I believe David's watching because he's
no
interacting with us on Twitter. Yep.
No
so,
way.
Hi, David. Absolutely. Thank you for sharing your story. It was very inspiring. I could relate to it a lot. I still have a little bit of student loans after 11 years ago graduating and paying $700 a month every month for the past 11 years and still have a little ways to go. So I certainly felt what you were going through, and having 2 children myself and being married, and that's quite a burden. It's backbreaking, and I was very happy to hear, like I said before, I don't know if you got to catch it, but I was very happy to hear that you still have some more HEX, and you're still going to be on this ride with us. So,
all right.
Thank you.
That's awesome. Let me adjust my window here so I can see the chat better.
Keep an eye on Twitter, Maddie, too, because it's
on Twitter.
Yeah, because everyone is sending messages out. So if you just want to see what's going on, as far as the net, people participated in that quite a bit.
Okay, awesome. Yeah, I'm still. I know if I open my Twitter, then it won't make the noise anymore on the phone.
Okay.
But we're creating a record that we can go back and surf around. And the other thing that this game is doing, which is pretty awesome and maybe revolutionary, maybe it's just a little bit better than before, is like all of you can surf around on the content that's being created now, I believe, and then you can like what other people did, and then that'll create kind of a
it'll help the algorithm. It'll help our search engine optimization.
Yeah, it'll help us get more and more information, right? HEX provides more information than any other financial market. Why shouldn't a HEX show like HEXTherapy.live provide the most information, right? It broke my heart that I missed the comments from the last show, right?
Oh yeah, me too. That was terrible.
And it having this audience, having these 100, 200, 300 people watching means more than having 3 million people watching, because these are the best minds in crypto. And,
absolutely.
And so this is incredibly exciting to me. And so why shouldn't Twitter be showing us more information, right? The greatest amount of information possible, just like HEX does in the financial market.
Absolutely.
Ooh, somebody likes that. Great.
Yeah, it's amazing what's happened already, Maddie. Just in the last 30, 60 days, I remember trying to find information, any content whatsoever, and there was handfuls of it, pockets of it, and there was people doing it consistently. But now it's daily that there's something amazing that I look forward to, and like you and I were talking last night, there's a growing list of Richard's interviews, Silver the Antidote's videos, what Brendan's doing. It's amazing. It's always something, and it's really, really good content.
We love the content.
I watched the Silver the Antidote Diamond video 4 times in a row the other night. I put it up to my ears. I was going to bed, and I just kept listening to it. And I'd go back to the middle part when he was just about to get into like the meat of it for me, and listen for like the next half hour, and just did it over and over again. It was really good. He's very talented, and I really appreciate his contribution to this community.
Yeah, you're talking about the Diamond video. I kept rewatching Silver the Antidote, the community video that he put out a couple days before that.
Oh, okay.
It was so inspiring. It's a 10-minute video, and it's he like recreates the scene in the 300 and like narrates it himself. And anyway, check it out. It's
absolutely.
We're actually going to come to a link for it through our other presentations. HEXToshi says in the comments, let's help Maddie get to 200 tonight.
Well, that'd be awesome.
That sounds really exciting. I'm not sure. Maybe it's on DLive. Maybe it's on YouTube. That would be so awesome. Thank you so much, HEXToshi, for shilling our viewer count. Okay, so let's get to the second, right? Because these narratives are going to get better and better. So thanks for sticking with us.
Absolutely.
Now, for the second narrative, I'm proud and happy to announce that season 2 of Hex Cameo premieres on the big payday, on the 24-hour live stream.
That's incredible, Maddie.
So Hexologist has been gracious enough to invite me on the live stream, and so I'll be joining for a couple hours there in the morning near the beginning. So hours 2 and 3, I'll be in the big payday stream, and then I'll be there when the day takes over. I'll be there for another 2 hours starting then, and so I'm going to leave it to Hexologists and the other powers that be to decide when in the programming we'll be premiering this amazing cameo. This is our opportunity to go ahead and tweet at any of the people out there who did a Hex cameo already. Maybe we want to start, bringing attention to who your favorite Hex cameo person was, right? So we did Lindsay Lohan. We did the 55th president of Mexico, Vicente Fox. We did Kevin from The Office. We did Eva Elfie, of course. And we did Miss America, right?
Yep.
And
Miss
then there was
Kentucky also.
That's right, yeah. Miss Kentucky was the test one where we did somebody said it was like ASMR. It was very calming. But hers was like talking about pretty advanced topics of proof of waste type stuff that most new people aren't going to understand. So I'm so excited. So I'm not going to ruin the surprise. You're going to have to wait until big payday for the season 2 premiere of Hex Cameo. I'm super. So I already got the Cameo returned to me. And so the way that this works is I go to the Cameo app. Actually, the Cameo website has like 10% cheaper, probably because the Apple Store is leeching money off the project or whatever. And so you can do this too, remember. I took some of the money from the Uniswap airdrops because I had multiple wallets. And so I used that to give back to the Hex community and create the cameos. But I'm so excited about Big Payday. And I'm so excited about this specific actor or actress. And I'm thrilled that they went so far as to shout out to crypto, right? Because a lot of these super famous people, they're willing to do a shout out maybe to a specific person, but then they want $3,000 or $1,000 to promote a product or a brand. And I'm like, I'm sorry, I'm willing to pay $100 or maybe $300 for a celebrity, but I'm not going to pay Kevin from The Office, $3,000. I'd rather put the money into Hex. So,
Maddie,
yes.
Someone has a great idea in the chats here. They say Brissology says we should all do one and pretend to be celebrities or people of importance, and that way, do a Hex cameo.
That would make amazing content if people from the community dressed up as famous people that they love and like and hate, and so it'd be like a Halloween, like a bunch of characters. Now we have to get it approved by Hexologist. This is his baby. Well, it's not his baby, but he's already got a baby. It's his rodeo. Let's put it that way. So if you like the idea of lots of people in the Hex community dressing up and impersonating celebrities to do fake Hex cameos, that would be a lot of fun. So,
can you imagine how many future Peter McCormick Hex cameos are coming our way?
Oh, I love it! Yeah, the more yes, and we can post on Twitter, if and then we can do the highlights on this show or on the Big Payday show. So
that'd be great.
There are going to be people impersonating me maybe. I mean, I'd be flattered. I don't know if there will be, but there's going to be other people. I mean, there's lots of people in Hex that could be their own cameo, right? Because they're already famous and they're going to be more famous. So very good. I like this. I like kind of brainstorming live. I like hearing from the audience. Let's go to the comments and see what people are saying.
Brissology also replied that he said LOL, not impersonating anyone, just thanking Richard and mentioning a few things. So if you want to do it as yourself as well, and tag Maddie and I on Twitter, we'd love to see it. So if you want to dress up as well and do some impersonations, that's up to you, and that would be funny. We'll
make a movie of it. You can record your video thanking Richard. You can record it on Snapchat, or we don't like the Chinese one. Which one is that?
TikTok?
We don't like TikTok because they steal all your information on your phone, and maybe you like it. So if you have it already on your phone, that's cool. Just a security warning that as much like I'm really into new stuff. I'm really into making videos and everything. But I am not doing TikTok because I heard it's a security risk for crypto people. Let's see.
That made me think of last night, Maddie. I was telling you I was trying to get in for some last minute Hex using my credit card. I was able to use Wire, and then I got on Changely, and Changely had me put my face, not just send them a selfie, but when I had to put my face in, and then I had to roll it all around so that they could get a complete, almost 3D view of me. So that was that just made me think of that. So that was pretty wild. But the things you do for Hex,
That's right.
That
was wild. Yeah.
Somebody bringing up Richard Hart is more important than Joe Rogan. Just give it time. So maybe that's something we could talk about for a minute. Just the fact that if all of us could send out a tweet, tag Joe in it, tag Richard, and the comment that you want to add. And if, a lot of people get it moving, there's, just like Richard said, this is the time. He hasn't been interviewed by Time Magazine, by People Magazine, and those days are inevitable. He came up with $1 billion cryptocurrency, and the man is absolutely brilliant. So I can't think of anybody I'd like to see on Joe Rogan more than Richard. That's for sure.
Oh, that's for sure. I can't agree more. Yeah. And go ahead, everybody, and be tagging other people. The more people you can tag that are relevant, right, to the ideas that we're covering and the ideas that you're covering, I think probably the better that'll play in raising awareness, right? And while you're listening to us, we greatly appreciate your attention and hope that we're adding value to your experience and making this an interactive stream. Remember that you can also do a quote tweet, and what that'll do, right, is that will show your followers, but also it'll show up for whoever's following that thread. And I'm crashing and burning trying to explain this, right? This moves on to the.
I'm laughing at something else. Somebody sent a tweet I just saw, and they said the Ric Flair cameo is needed.
Ooh, yeah. Wait, okay. I don't know who that is.
Ric Flair, the wrestler from the NWA, he goes, woo! You know,
oh, nice. Yeah.
And, he's very eccentric, used to wear the fur coats and come out with the ladies, and wrestled till he was in his late 50s, if not later than that. He's a legend. He's an icon, that's for sure. He's a character, so that would be hilarious.
Yeah. What I was thinking, what is Rick roll? Is that a thing?
Yeah, Rick roll is when you send somebody some information with a link, and instead of that information popping up, it's the Rick Springfield. What's the song? I forget the song, but it's by Rick Springfield. Let me check right now. I know everybody knows it, but just so we can say it.
Let's keep dropping these narratives, right? Because I want to be respectful of everybody's attention and time. I'm so honored to have everybody watching. So narrative number 3. So I told Michael Saylor to watch the show tonight by retweeting, but I don't care if he watches, because I've already had a billionaire watch my show, and that was Richard, right?
Absolutely.
He was watching for maybe a couple of minutes when we did our test stream the first time, and I was so humbled and shocked and nervous.
Yeah. Can you imagine?
I was speechless.
That was absolutely incredible.
Michael Saylor was talking about how great Bitcoin's security is, which is not true. And one of the narratives we're going to be getting to is going to explain why in an all new way. I'm saving the best for last. All right. Number 4. Let's see. Here we go. Okay. So we're gonna get to some good ones here in a second. So number 4. So I exposed Pomp in my article that I published tonight. So I have been writing this article for 2 or 3 months. And we previewed it on the show before, but I would be so honored and grateful if people would be willing to bookmark this or to check out links to it. Maybe if somebody tweets it later. I've created a special URL that will get you around the Medium paywall for this. So you'll be able to go to this URL and read the article that I've spent 3 months writing about. Basically, the setup for HEXTherapy, the idea that HEX will be programmable money. It's not just going to be something that makes you rich. It's going to be something that allows you to pay yourself, which is a missing function of paper money. And you'll be able to pay yourself to do healthy habits, right? And to maybe quit smoking tobacco, or to be motivated to work on whatever project you want to do, or there are going to be so many applications that it's going to be hard for us to wrap our heads around it. I believe programmable money will really be the future of a lot of things. So in order to get to my article, what you can do is go, I believe, to 3gcrypto.com. So 3gcrypto.com will take you. Ooh, and the crowd goes wild.
Oh, Maddie, I haven't seen this published yet. This is amazing.
Thank you. Like I said, I put my heart and soul into it. I spent hours and hours combing over it. This has tons of links in it. It's got references built in. It tells the story extremely clearly. Concisely, it's funny, it's well written. I created the graphics myself. Well, except for shout out to hexgraphs.com. It explains what HEXTherapy is. It tells Joe's story, and it's got links so you can jump right to the part in our 3-hour stream where he's telling his story. I've got links in there that'll jump you right to that spot. there's like links like here. I've said something about how Joe is being included now in the HEX community, which we're going to be together for 15 years. Like, surprise! I guess I should have gotten you like an engagement ring or something, right? All of our viewers. Right. We're committed for 15 years, right? And that's awesome. That's never happened before. And so if you look at this paragraph of 3G crypto, now I bought THREE crypto.com, but I haven't finished linking it yet. I just published this article right before we came on stream. And why did I do that? Because Richard always explains how people are going to misspell things, and so you need to, or that they're going to spell it their own way, so you need to have your bases covered. So I'll fix that right after we get off the stream, so that'll go there too. But right now it's just the number 3, and then crypto. If you don't know how to spell that, then please leave now. 3gcrypto.com. But the HEX community, so here I mentioned the HEX community, and if you click on that, it takes you to Silver the Antidotes. Wait. Oh no, it goes to t.me/HEX crypto. I may have linked Silver the Antidote in a different part of the article, but so that's going to be it's full of resources for people who are new and old in HEX, and so it's gonna. You can't hear the sound, can you?
No, I can't. We got to figure that out. But there's me in my throne. So
yeah,
that was amazing that Richard noticed that. You know, that was really cool.
Yes. So we've already covered this a lot of the topics in here, but I promise you that it's a better read than me trying to read it to you. And I've made some significant updates. I talked about how the Stanford marshmallow experiment, right, that Richard and the sniper guy were talking about the other day. Let me see what that is. I cracked myself up so much. It was weird, definitely weird.
I like that picture too, Maddie. That's a great picture.
Do you? Yeah.
Yep.
That's an open source picture. We love that when people are just making stuff on the internet and it looks awesome and they're doing it. Are you talking about the light bulb one?
Yes. Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. Sorry. And before everybody was mentioning the prices pumping of HEX. So I don't know if you've been noticing, but
we're only at number 4, right? Like
went up 10% since we started.
I'm glad I bought before I went on stream.
Right.
HEX allows you to crawl into the 4th dimension of space-time and program your actions through monetary incentives, starting with delayed gratification. In this way, it is like the famous Stanford marshmallow experiment. As programmable money, HEX will go further, eventually allowing to pay yourself based on more than just time locking for compound interest. You will enjoy rewards for any rule you set for yourself. If it's just marshmallow money you're after, however, HEX is still designed to deliver and is like turning a bite into the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man from the 1984 classic Ghostbusters.
Nice. One of my favorites, that's for sure.
Okay, I need to stop showing my article, but thank you so much to people who are willing to check that out and use that as a resource.
Yeah, Maddie, and I wanted to just, again, take this time to say thank you for including me in this, for making me a part of this. It was really enjoyable. It was great to share my story with you, and
thank you.
To hear everything that you had to say. It was very supportive, and now to be able to read it, it's really incredible. So thank you once again.
Oh, you're welcome. And it's your story, and so please, everybody, feel free to share this with anybody you want. I've tried to write it in a way where it's gonna give value to you if you already know a lot about HEX. But even if you don't know about HEX, it's a really fun story. It talks about the history of inventions and tries to help people wrap their heads around the fact. So my elevator pitch for HEX is the iPhone just came out with 5G. You don't know what 5G is. 5G is awesome, right? It's better than 4G. HEX is 3G crypto, right? So somebody who doesn't know about crypto doesn't even have to understand what 2G crypto is. I mean, let's call that Ethereum. They don't need to know what 1G crypto is, right? Bitcoin. But they're going to understand very quickly what it means, right? That this is the best crypto. And I was saying that the whole point of this was so go ahead and tweet out. Sorry. If people know about how to create forwarding addresses, so sometimes when people type in my domain names that link to stuff, it tells them it's not secure, and that's a problem. So if you're creating links to any of the stuff we're talking about that like redirects you, what you can do is do http:// and then whatever it is. So in this case, it'd be the number 3 and then gcrypto.com. And what that'll do is it'll tell whoever's clicking on the link, it'll tell their computer that it's going to be forwarding, basically, because it doesn't have the HTTPS, which stands for secure. And so if anybody's having trouble accessing this, that could be why. And so sometimes you just have to type that out, and GoDaddy's like got a huge scam, and that's probably why it doesn't just work. So anyway, so for this one, we were calling out Anthony Pompliano, right? And this really boils my blood. Is how some of the most popular people in crypto right now, I mean, not in the future, but right now, they have these malicious partnerships, right? And so if you go to this part of the article and you click on where it says malicious partnerships, it'll take you directly to a video of him pumping his own stupid BlockFi thing that centralizes Bitcoin. It takes Bitcoin and it centralizes it so you can earn some measly 7% interest or something. Not your keys, not your crypto. And so that reminds me, Joe, we have a new catchphrase in this show, don't we?
We do. What is it, Maddie? Lay it on me.
Not your health, not your wealth.
I like it. Very nice. Not your health, not your wealth.
Mm-hmm.
Very cool.
And so, since we're all going to be sticking around together for 15 years together or more, I care about you all, right? And like, I want you to take care of yourselves. And so I think that's why the HEX movement kind of goes so well along with like a mental health and a physical health movement. And we've already seen that through influencers such as Steph doing the 3.69 mile run challenge. And so that was pretty cool.
Yeah, and it's also, just from when you and I were talking, it's mental, spiritual, and physical. So any one of these challenges can fit into any one of those categories. So if you have an idea and you want to share with the community, what we've heard of some physical ones. I haven't heard of any mental ones really that I can think of. Maddie, maybe you can help, but I certainly haven't heard of anything spiritual. So, if anybody has any ideas on how we could increase social capital with one another and hold ourselves accountable, better ourselves to pay our future selves, I would love to hear it. Please let us know.
Yeah, the spiritual capital, right? That's created by a community, right? And created by each person's beliefs and faith and um, right, your beliefs and faith.
Yeah, absolutely. So if you could share your experience, how you found strength in that experience, and maybe provide some hope for the community to also connect with and try it out themselves. If you have some ideas that work that are based off of, essentially time locking, then that's what we're talking about is how can we adapt? How can we adapt this idea of a time lock for crypto? How can we bring that into
programmable money?
Exactly. Yep.
Now, Basat says, wait, I can pause space-time? Maybe. Well, I don't know.
Space-time. Space-time or FaceTime, Maddie? He says space-time.
Space-time, like
yeah,
we were just talking about how HEX allows you to crawl into the fourth dimension, right? Fourth dimension is time, and cause delayed gratification. So we will get back to you about that. Maybe not pause, but it allows you to send money to yourself in the future, right? And so that's another incredibly powerful idea that we're all still getting used to wrapping our heads around. And right, like one of the coolest narratives that I've heard ever, right, in my life ever, it was what Richard said the other day on the Sniper Show, which said, of course, the best money in the world is going to be the one that has the slowest velocity of money, because the velocity of money and the time delay there is what creates stored value. And it's just like, my mind is blown, he's going to get the Nobel Prize in economics for that idea, for HEX. And they gave the Nobel Prize to people who were saying, Kahneman and the other guy, right, who came up with the whole idea that people are stupid with their money, right? And so we can't think of classical economics as everybody's rational, right? Because people don't save in their retirement accounts, right? And so the idea that people have a low financial IQ, that got the Nobel Prize, just saying that. And their solution was to just be centralized and force people to save through their work and stuff like that. That's a terrible idea. That leads to corruption when your work decides where your value goes and who to invest in and all this kind of stuff. So it's like they need to take the Nobel Prize away from those guys. And so this behavioral economics BS is that's a terrible start to that field. And HEX is miles ahead, is light years ahead of where the research is being done, the psychological research, right?
Absolutely, yeah. I think it's something that I experienced firsthand, and until you were able to quantify it for me and put it into words that that illustrated what I went through, I didn't even realize what it was happening. So it was. Consider myself extremely financial literate with a very high IQ, financial IQ, and I didn't even notice how effective that buying into HEX was. Like we said, when I told my story, I made my first stake for 5,555 days, and just that simple following along with, what the program was designed, the product was designed to do. It helped change my life, and I can see that can be adapted to other areas of mental health in particular. And then, we're seeing it with exercise, and like we just said, it would be great to figure out some spirituality as well.
Yes. Awesome.
Maddie, briefly, what are the narratives that we've covered so far?
Somebody in the comments just had a brilliant idea to be listing them in a bulleted format so that people can follow along easier. Thank you so much for your comment. We're going to go ahead and do this. So I'm going
thank you.
I'm going to bring that up on the screen here shortly. Okay.
you want to jump into the next narrative as we figure it out?
Yeah, it's like, dead air, like, let's see here. So I'm going to be able to bring it up here in 2.5 seconds. So we're going
I was thinking, Maddie, if anybody has a guess, any guesses as far as who your next cameo is, it's somebody that I think that everyone would be familiar with. And I would just be curious if anybody wants to, send Maddie a tweet and maybe tag that person that you think it is. That would be amazing if anybody can guess it. It's certainly possible. So if you're looking to participate in this,
yes.
tag Maddie, put put hashtag HEX, hashtag HEXcoin, and let's see what you guys think.
Awesome. Yeah, the more interactions, the better. We love hearing the phone blow up. We love you all for paying close attention to this and supporting the ideas that we're bringing here. Now, let me edit this title. I mean, I don't know. What do people think? Do you like the title? Do you want me to change the title? The reason why I said it'll put HEX over 2 cents tonight, I mean, that sounds like clickbait, right? But I was going to say, if HEX doesn't go over 2 cents on centralized or on the open market, the decentralized exchanges, then I'll just sell a HEX frame to somebody for like, I don't know, for like 1 HEX or something, and then the like,
temporarily
supposedly the price will spike up to $200 and crash back down to a penny, and it'll be fine.
New all-time highs.
It won't show that on the charts, so maybe that's a bad way to put it, right? Because I don't want to lie to you and overstate anything. So 9 narratives to pump HEX to the moon, which is bittersweet, right? Because some of us are still buying HEX. So
that's what I thought tonight when you were talking about the price possibly going up to 2 cents. I thought immediately, like, I haven't made my purchase yet for today, and after the show I'm going to. So I hope that doesn't happen, but it would certainly be nice to have that happen for the bags that I do have. It is bittersweet.
Excellent point. Now, all right, here's the good one. So let's see. So we've been all wondering who the whales are, right? In HEX. But so maybe we have some clues. I think as your honest journalist, I'm going to qualify this and say, like, do your own research and let's keep this like let's keep some perspective on this one, because this is going to be controversial news, right? So if you go to, should we do it in the title?
Yeah, right there. Okay, I thought you were going to navigate to it.
So yeah, should we? Okay, so if we go to http://
okay, so the next narrative is
thewhalegod.com. What? Oh my gosh, that went to Vitalik Buterin's website. Vitalik is the creator of Ethereum. Oh my God, is that really happening?
And what's the site called?
Is that a scam or is that real? We just went to thewhalegod.com, right? So I'll copy that over into our narrative here.
I know a lot of people have said that they think that Vitalik might possibly be.
http://thewhalegod.com. We don't know if it's registered, but that's where it goes. It goes to Vitalik's individual page. Okay, so that seems weird, right? Like, that's something that we need to
find out more.
Well, it's obviously a scam, but I don't know. I think it's funny. I think it's good content. I don't know. We don't hear the phone blowing up, so maybe people don't think it's Vitalik. So let's we can go ahead and go to http:// but feel free to tweet out and like ask Vitalik, right? You could do like an Vitalik on Twitter and find out what he thinks of this accusation that he's the whale god. And then if we go to HEXwhales.org, that seems like not the best web URL ever, but HEXwhales.org. That didn't go anywhere.
Yeah, I think when we were talking, it's a great idea. It's a great narrative to get out there to figure out. Just to have
it goes to Roger Ver. Okay, that's weird. It's weird that goes there, right?
And which one is that? What's the URL?
HEXwhales.org.
HEXwhales.org.
Yeah.
Okay. That's what my pick is. I only have a handful of people that I think it could be, but I pick Roger Ver.
So obviously this is just for fun, right? I don't want to put anything on the stream that's like a lie or that's not being respectful to your intelligence. But I thought it would just, I don't know, that would just be fun to be shouting out to these people and accusing them. So who knows? Maybe they'll respond to our extreme interest in who the whale gods are, right? And I respect both these guys very highly. So that's one of our narratives. Let's see. So, and we've already done Hex will gamify mental health as programmable money, right? So we'll put that one on there. All right. What are people saying in the comments? Do we? Who is the whale god? Excellent. Okay. All right. People are still with us.
That's me, Maddie. That's me. So.
What?
That wrote that. Who is the god?
You're Attila Day Hut?
Oh, okay. No, below that.
Wait, are you the whale god?
I'm letting everybody know right now. So,
Well, people, you heard it here first.
You heard it here first.
I'm going to need to see a signed transaction, right?
I'll show you my wallet.
We don't. Your seed phrase would be more than enough. Don't ever tell anybody your seed phrase. That was a test.
I did have a question, Maddie, about a seed phrase. If I had a seed phrase for my MetaMask, is that something that because what happened is I'm in a different state right now. I'm able to buy ETH on a credit card, so I'm very excited. I was just found this out last night, and I'm on a limited basis when I can do this. It's $500 a day. So I made a purchase last night through Wire. I was so excited to get in, still while the price is low.
Awesome.
And excuse me. And then, when you and I were creating some new content last night, and I got inspired today to create a song also, using some vocals, chopping it up, putting it to one of the songs that I made. My computer had a problem with Pro Tools. I have a MacBook Pro, and I basically just unplugged my headphones, and the sound card caused a ripple effect problem that it made my computer really slow for the next couple hours. And I started to think about Firefox wouldn't load. I could load Safari, but Firefox wouldn't load. And I was thinking, I have my seed phrase with me because I didn't know how long I was going to be gone. So I wasn't too worried about getting my MetaMask up again eventually, but I was worried about buying more HEX and being able to stake it before big payday happens. So I wanted to know if, like, in a worst case scenario, if I were to let somebody else know what my seed phrase is, right? And then later, would I be able to go into MetaMask and just change that seed phrase?
You don't want to let anybody else know your seed phrase because then they can take all your money. And like HEX time lapse, so like maybe they could nuke your account right away if they hated you, or they could just wait their time and then emergency unstake it before you do. But
I was thinking somebody I trust very much.
People in your family, that's fine.
Yeah.
To create backups. And so here's what we love. We love creating backups because user error is more of a problem than somebody stealing it, right? But we love all kinds of security. But we love creating backups, okay? And there's something called, the chat's gonna help me with this, it's some method. And it's a method of breaking up your seed words and spreading them out so nobody has one piece. And so you're gonna take 3 copies of 8 words only, and that way you have to have 2 pieces in order to have the entire seed phrase.
Okay, it's like a multi-sig on paper then, right?
Kind of, yeah. There's a special name for it, and it's named after the creator. I think it's kind of like a foreign-sounding name. Does the chat know what we're talking about?
Yeah, they said that I can't change the seed phrase, so that's not something that can ever be done.
No, you can't change it.
Okay.
So you can use the method to make it so basically you can have it so like you have 3 locations and you keep like 2/3 of the words in each place, and so you need 2 places in order, so that way you have a backup, but no one place has the entire key. So that's a way that you can spread out your keys and create more security. Another thing you can do is you can create more than one wallet and have it be a high security situation, to where maybe you've put a bunch of money into one wallet and staked it, and then now you're going to start building your second wallet, and that way you're spreading your risk in case there was some kind of security problem.
I guess because I'm all in 100% staked, and I'm going to continue to be that way, that I really was just concerned about the stakes that I have already. I can't do anything to modify what I have then. So that seed phrase I have is forever.
That's the one. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Cool. Thank you.
I wish I could remember what the method is called. It's on the tip of my tongue. Method for Shamir. Okay, I didn't even have to look it up. I just started to type my question and I remembered it. So a Shamir backup is you can research that, and that's how you will create a backup that doesn't have a security vulnerability in only one place.
Okay, cool.
Yay! We love learning about security in crypto. Let's see. Attila Dahut says that he or she might be the whale god. Other people have said Gavin Wood, and what else was somebody saying the other day too? So Gavin Wood was one of the people who created Ethereum, and Joseph Lubin, right? And he was another creator of Ethereum. So we kind of got it narrowed down, right? It's like 4 or 5 people.
Gavin wrote Solidity, right? He wrote the code?
Yeah.
Okay.
And created Polkadot and all these other things that I don't really. You said Richard. I haven't gotten a chance to listen to Richard's full interview with the sniper yet, so I'm going to learn more about the top 10 coins.
If everyone hasn't seen it, it is. He for the first time I've heard so many people interview Richard, and they ask him, what do you think about this coin, or pick the top 3 coins that he would invest in, and he never. He's so truthful. He would never invest, in any of them. But this time he finally talked about the top 10 list and went through the pluses and the minuses, and he did a job like you would expect Richard to do. It was extremely entertaining, and I learned a lot. So that's absolutely awesome.
I can't wait. Yeah, I can't wait to consume that content and keep learning more and more from the latest that Richard has to offer us. Now, so we're going through our 9 narratives, and we got sidetracked on security, but we love that, right? Because that's like more important than like who the whale god is, right? Maybe. I mean, the whale god could dump. The whale god, people will tell you and FUD you, right? We're pumping the price now through education to help you realize how, world changing this is going to be. And so people, sorry, I thought my cat was going to attack me. So people are going to FUD you, right? And say that the whales are going to dump on your head, but that's not true because the game theory says, why would the whale like destroy their own bag? The only reason they would dump on your head is so they could buy more HEX at a lower price. And so, as long as you don't fall for the FUD, and HEX has the strongest hands in the history of crypto and in the history of investing overall. And so that's why it's going to get real scarce real quick here. As soon as we keep shaking out all the weak hands, right? And it's going to come way quicker than people expect. The extreme scarcity of HEX, right? And so, buckle up and get ready. Not financial advice, not therapy advice, right? Not medical advice, but we just love sharing what works for us and what our private free speech opinions are.
Yeah, I don't know if you also got to see the Silver the Antidote video recently, where I think that was the one you were talking about maybe today that came out there, where he broke down the top 100 addresses and went through when they're going to be unstaking. And what I learned from that was that I think by January, the majority of the whales and the sharks that could move, that have actual stakes coming to an end, they will be mostly done by January. So there's going to be volatility both ways. And, he presents an argument as much as anybody would drive down the price, just like you just said. You think any one of those whales is going to allow their investment to go down? Of course, they're going to protect their investment. So there's people like we're talking about the God whale that made that 5555 stake with a billion HEX. He's got a tremendous amount of ETH still. And as the price goes down, there's going to be new entry positions for more whales to come in. So the game theory behind it's incredible, and Silver breaks it down with the graphs and when they're all ending, and it's it's a lot of information that's really relevant, and he breaks it down very simply. So another great video by him.
So we've perfectly set up a point that I haven't heard others make. So I apologize if other people have made this comment on another show, but I haven't actually heard anybody say. So Silver the Antidote said that was inviting the HEX, the whale god, to become a Poseidon, but I'm almost certain that they already are, and they just split into two different wallets because of what we were already just talking about. That that's people who have been in crypto a really long time, as long as the whale god has, why would they put something that's gonna be worth $1 trillion in one wallet when they could split it into two? So Silver the Antidote was saying, wait and see if they, or basically baiting them, oh, come on, get up to 10%. But I bet they're already at 10%, right? Because they have more than one of the whale spots. Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely. And even for me, I was thinking, I'm a low end on a certain tier, and I'm going to keep that tier, and as these large buys are coming in, I have this idea that that RG3 said last night about his children, that he wants to, or he gave all his nieces and nephews, a stake, a long stake. And I wanted to do the same thing for my daughters. But then I was thinking, I want to make a MetaMask for each one of them and do it. But also part of me was thinking, I wish I could have that in my, on my ETH address, so that I could maintain the status that I am. It's hard to break up. So I think that the more money that you make, the more that you love numbers, and the more that you want to be, the big man in the room. It's funny to be a dolphin and be a shark, but it's not so funny to be a whale. That's that means a lot to the community, and then to be the top dog, to be the Poseidon. I think you're right. I think it makes a lot of sense that the address will be split up. I think that Silver also made a great point in baiting him, you know, who he
Yes.
thinks
Oh, yeah. I love it.
Yep, because and it, you know, breaks down how the price is going to pump if that happens, and you know why the liquidity is where it's at. I learned a tremendous amount in the past 48 hours from him.
Yeah, I mean, the point is, if the Godwill wanted to add a percentage to their portfolio, it'd be very hard for them to do that, right? Without skyrocketing the price like they've already done. I wanted to shout out Lily Grace. Thank you for donating the diamond, and thank you to everybody who's donating. We love it, and we are loving every time you guys are tweeting out something good. So we're going to keep moving on with the topics so that we can hear you guys interact with us more. And there's a number of people in the chat saying that Joe, you can take your seed words and you can move your wallet to another computer by just having another instance of MetaMask.
So my options were an iPad and a few phones, you know, an Android, some Apples, and
you could have it on all those at the same time.
My trouble is accessing go.hex.win.
Oh, so you just go through MetaMask on the browser in there.
Yeah, I've tried it, and I think I even saw maybe you had some information a while back that I tried it like step by step.
So there's a bug in there. So when you tap the Ethereum network like thing at the top, it's got this like hidden address bar that's not a search bar, and so you tap that, and then you type in like go.hex.com/stake, right, and that's going to take you to the decentralized application for Hex, but it's not going to go there, or it's going to go there, but it's not going to be active. It's going to be seeming like it won't load. So what you're going to do is you're going to hit that Ethereum main bar again, and then hit go again. And you're going to do that like 2 or 3 times, and then go.hex.com will load. So that's the way that we are able to access that through MetaMask on mobile or anywhere. Well, especially mobile, yeah.
Maddie, so it's not the button that pops up with the red bar, right? Open the MetaMask wallet. It's not that. It's something else, because that's where I keep getting. It just opens up my MetaMask, and then when I go back to here, it's the same thing over and over again. So I'll if it's not something you can walk me through right now, just maybe somebody else is having some problems. We could show them.
Yeah. So go to the top.
Yeah.
Go to the top, and oh wait, no, you're in your Safari browser. You need to be in MetaMask itself. There's a browser in MetaMask.
Oh, all right. Okay. I had no idea.
So you go to the 3 bars in the top left of MetaMask.
Yep.
And that brings you to the menu there. And then you're already going to be inside of the wallet. And then you're going to go right above that. It says browser. And you're going to tap that. And then it's going to show you a search bar, which I hate because it doesn't show you that there's a way to type in exactly what you want.
Yeah, so it says search or type URL.
Yeah, so like at the very top, do you see where it says Ethereum mainnet?
Yep.
Tap right there, and it's going to display an address bar.
Okay. And in there,
we like not using search engines to go to links. We like knowing exactly where we're going, exactly to the only official Hex website that we use, even though they're backups. And so do you see where the
awesome
the address bar comes up there, and then you're going to type that in, and then you're going to get an error because it's not going to load. So then you need to like hit go, and then go back to that address bar, and then hit go again. Do that 1 or 2 or 3 times, and it'll load for you with all your hexing.
There's a red box that says connect that keeps popping up.
Go ahead. Yeah. Okay, so my guess is that most of the audience knows about this and some don't, but I'm glad that we're problem solving this so that those people who don't know how to use it on their mobile, right? Because you might find as you build your HEX over the next 10 years, right, that you're going to be wanting to create one on your mobile, and you're going to have one that you made on your computer, and you're going to be able to have more than one place where you're storing your wealth, so it's not all held up in one seed phrase that could unfortunately get compromised theoretically or practically, right? So,
Right.
So I think that's a super important point for growing the future of the community. Like, how tragic would it be, you know, if you lost like your one account? So when we talk about making multiple accounts, we're not talking about within the same MetaMask. We're talking about like separate instances of MetaMask. So if you have MetaMask on your Chrome browser on your computer, then you can make another MetaMask that has a different seed phrase on your Firefox browser on that computer, and you can make yet another one on your phone, going to metamask.io. And so this will also be helpful for onboarding new users that we all care about doing. Hextoshi says bad connection. He said he thinks it's him. I'm going to close out some tabs in case that helps.
It worked, Maddie, so thank you. It did take me a couple times to refresh it, and then it was very slow to load, but it worked, so thank you. Yeah. And thank you everybody in the chat for for all the information you gave as well.
Yeah. Now let's go on to narrative number 7. This one. So we got my friend Crypto Kayla. She's gonna be joining the HEX community. She's making jewelry, and so she might come on next week. Today's her birthday, so if you want to shout out to her on Instagram, you can go to her Instagram by going to http://hexgift.com, and here we'll be able to see a preview of what her jewelry looks like. She makes some like really interesting stuff. Oh, it's not going to let us even see it. Maybe I don't have the screen pulled up. Let me. Oh yeah, can't even see it. Okay, so Crypto Kayla has her jewelry that she's shilling. It's so yeah, that's how you can get to her Instagram. It's not gonna let me log in here. I don't want to dox myself. Instagram's really bad about that. But she's got all kinds of really cool jewelry. She's a fashion model, and she's gonna be selling her jewelry for HEX. And the holidays are coming up, so that'll just be kind of a fun little segment that we'll do on our show. To onboard more people and to show support for bringing new people in. And so I hope. Well,
so Maddie, she's going to accept HEX for the jewelry? Yeah, okay.
Yeah. And so, yeah, I mean, you can message her now on Instagram. Please be super respectful and only contact her if you're interested in buying her jewelry. You might even be able to get her to make some HEX jewelry. So, okay, so I don't know. Maybe we have 10. Maybe we have 10 narratives. That seems more like an ad than a narrative. But either way.
Well, I mean, the basic idea is that we're trying to grow the community, and anybody that's willing to accept HEX for a product. Yes. We want to, just like last night in Discourse Syndicate, when they raided, I forget who the guy's name was, but he was funny. He got onboarded just like the night before. So the past 2 nights with the raid, the people both onboarded, and I watched
the dancing guy.
The dancing guy, and the first thing he said he knew very little about crypto. It was more through hearsay than, firsthand. But the first thing he said was, and it's an argument that a lot of people say is, I can't spend it. I can't go buy a coffee with it. And I've heard so many people reply, well, you can't take you can't take a stock and go buy coffee either. So the fact that there's people out here, willing to accept HEX or other cryptos, but particularly HEX for their product is what we're trying to showcase here.
The failure of using a new money as commerce, it either is because it's not a good money or because it's the best money, right? Because it's not Esther's pyramid, it's something like that, right? Is the theory that the hardest money, the best money that you come across is what you're going to save. And then all of the crummy fiat money is what you're going to spend. And so people actually won't spend HEX as much. But I don't know, if you want to grow the community, if you want to onboard new users, I offered to send Crypto Kayla $5 or $10 worth of HEX for her birthday, because if we look back 10 years ago, $5 or $10 worth of Bitcoin now would be worth $10 or $20 million. So we love onboarding people, and so that's another one of the narratives, right? That's super bullish, right? Because there's so few people in HEX right now. It seems like, oh, that's not a good thing, but it really speaks to the fundamentals. I mean, we have and people. I believe the game theory is making us all be kind of like subconsciously greedy, like not telling as many people, because HEX is special to us because we want to get as much HEX as possible, and at least going into big payday. And so, I mean, there's what the influencers are doing, which is giving away knowledge for free because we've received, so many free educations. But then there's going to be the mass of people who are just maybe incentivized to not share as much until after the big payday. So speaking of which, we're going to need our community to weigh in on number 8, which is kind of a question I have. I don't know everything. So, Crypto Kayla. So, oh wow, we have 70 people watching on DLive. We told everybody to go watch on Periscope so they could comment. So, thank you guys. Now, okay, help me out here, community. So when we go to go.hex.com/stake, we look at what a 10-year stake will do versus a 15-year stake. What does it tell us? That our T-shares max out, right? And at about 10 years. And my question is that misunderstood? Is it the case that, won't you be getting way more compound interest at 15 years? And that calculator is actually, it's not really necessarily lying to you, but it's it's kind of maybe doing, well, I don't know. It's kind of doing a little decoy thing where it's you really have to know more about the project to realize that a 15-year stake is getting predicted to be a 250x, and a 10-year stake is getting predicted to be a 80x or something, just based on compound interest.
Addy, can I ask you a question?
Yes.
I hear everyone say compound interest all the time, and I understand how powerful that is and what it is. And I see the chart as far as the daily payout for each T share that we get, and it's going up. What I don't understand is why we're calling that compound interest. I get a little lost with that, because the principle is the same, and it's not, you're not adding interest to it and then getting paid based off that interest.
Well, so the T shares are what's modeling the compound interest. So when you burn your HEX in exchange for T shares, and the price of T shares only goes up, that is basically the mathematical function that's modeling compound interest. And so I understand that that's a bit technical, but the more that we get past big payday and then have more like educational circles and more like sound bites that are able to explain that, that'll be great.
Okay.
The T-shares are what's modeling that, and
that's a very simple way to put it. I understand.
Because HEX is built on the most secure math ever, which is cryptocurrency, they needed a number to put in. And so the number started at 1. So in terms of the T-share rate, right? And then that's gone up now.
So what, 1 hex per T-share payout per day?
No,
that's where it started?
Was it per 10,000? Okay,
Oh,
somebody
yeah,
says,
yeah.
"Oh, Funding Jim. Hey, thanks for the diamonds. Thanks for saying great work. Keep it up." Oh, I appreciate that.
Funding Jim would certainly know that answer. I think you're right though, Maddie. It was 10,000 as far as what the T-share started at. So, but that's.
And the rate goes up from 1 to now it's like 1.1 or higher or something. So anyway, yeah, it's not. So it depends how technical you want to be, but the bottom line is the T-shares are 1 trillion shares of the future compound interest. Thank you for the follow, Funding Jim. And so my main point here is that just by using the calculator, you may have drawn the conclusion that a 10-year stake is the optimal stake because the calculator doesn't show you that you're getting more T-shares by going to a 15-year stake. But as far as I understand, at least the penalties are going to get paid out at a much higher rate. Plus, those people who end at 10 years, maybe they are getting the same amount of T-shares, but what are they doing at year 10, right? They're going to buy back in because HEX is the hardest money. So all the money that they've earned in their life to support themselves up to year 10 is, that's what they're going to live off of. They're not going to pass up the opportunity to buy HEX at the cheapest rate it will ever be for 1,000 years into the future, right? People will rebuy at year 10 and they will buy at a much higher rate. And so they're not going to keep getting compound interest for those last 5 years. For those last 5 years, they're going to be getting a much lower compound interest rate. Just as if somebody had come in with that same amount of money at year 10 and started out doing HEX that way. So my point is that the calculator might be misunderstood. And if we've misunderstood the calculator, then people are going to want way more 15-year stakes. And so people are going to get excited, and people who are already in HEX, who still have Bitcoin, who still have other cryptos, who are still earning an income regularly, they're going to change their time preference, and they're going to start staking longer than they were before. When people have been creating these ladders only up to 10 years, they're going to start thinking, oh, well, maybe I should start out with 15 years and work my way back, which is what I do. And so somebody says the site is a bit outdated. I wonder which site they're talking about. But either way.
They're talking about Attila's jewelry site. She makes jewelry as well. So she was asking how she could, if somebody could help her accept payment on her website. And the idea was just, put your ETH address out there and you can start accepting that way. So
yeah. So Attila, go ahead and you can see how I accept HEX for what we're giving away tonight, which is one of these T-share frames. You can see that at tsharecoin.com. And that it shows my instructions for how people can buy from me. And so I say here, I ask people to message me at Twitter or Telegram, and then they can, then they'll get an order number from me, and then I send them the instructions, and the instructions basically say to send the money, and then sends me their ETH address, and that allows me to verify on etherscan.io that they've made their payment, and then they send me their address, their mailing address. So, yay!
I'm
Awesome.
sorry. If somebody were to do this, to accept payment like that, how much thought do you have to, or I guess, how do you address the volatility of the market?
What I've done here is I've pegged my price because I know that HEX is going to do great. So I just pegged it at a penny. And when it went higher than a penny, then I pegged it at 0.125. And so if HEX is below a penny, you're getting a discount from me, right? But I'm okay with that, whatever. I'm going to hold HEX for the long term. So I don't care if I pay a slightly higher, I don't care if I give you a little bit of a discount because, I expect the price of HEX to go up probably even before you receive the package with 2-day shipping. So, it's however you want to do it. You could choose the price at the moment that the sale's happening, but that would take more messaging back and forth. So this was just kind of my way to celebrate HEX going over a penny. I said, even if it drops back down to 0.8, then I'll still pretend like it's worth a penny.
Cool. Thank you.
Yeah. Well, and thanks people for asking about that. That's a good question. But so this is a huge idea here that people might be wanting a bunch more 15-year stakes than they thought because they're going to be earning significantly higher amounts of compound interest. And if you really think ahead, as HEX becomes and is the hardest money, you're going to want to live off your fiat money, and you're going to want to restake your HEX. And so when you plan ahead and stake it longer, you're going to get rewarded in a much higher amount.
Maddie, you mind if I try to reiterate what I think you're saying to see if I understand it? So it's not necessarily literal compound interest. What it is the T-share acts in a manner that provides what we would call compound interest because the price of the T-shares is always increasing. So you can never get in tomorrow like you could today. So because of that reason, and especially 10 to 15 years from now, when the T-share price doubles, quadruples, or 10 times, it's essentially that, right? So right now your money's worth the most that it could ever be worth in HEX regarding T-shares. And that's what's giving you the daily input, the interest. And so it's the design of the T-share and the fact that it's always going up that is giving what we would call compound interest.
Yeah.
Okay.
So like compound interest, I think is also called like exponential. Well, it might be a little bit different than exponential, but the idea is that if something is but remember the other reason why it's compound is because you're getting paid based on how many other people stake. So you're getting more. So it is a variable APY, and but your HEX is going to earn more HEX, right? After the big payday, which is a huge interest payout, you're going to be earning more with that in the future, right? So
and just
so maybe it's compounds like when you restake, in a sense, but there's also that T-share function, and this is a good question for us to ask other people as well and see what they think.
Okay. Just to go back to the 10-year stake and the 15 years, the difference I just wanted to share when I was going through that, and I found out that every year you get 20% more till 10 years. I had already made a couple 15-year stakes, but I maxed out, at 10 years for the next little while. I didn't even consider anything longer than that. until I learned about T-shares. So, you know, as you progress through the HEX community and how deep everything is with the game theory, you know, I didn't care about T-shares my first few purchases, my first few stakes. And then once, you know, now after, you know, hearing Hexologist and RG3 and those guys' strategies, you know, I'm trying to go between years 11 and years, you know, 14 and 9/10 of a year. I'm trying to stay away from the 5-5-5-5 right now, because that is a tremendous possible dump that could happen just like in the first couple months after big payday. So if you look at the charts, like Silver the Antidote illustrated, those are the two largest peaks.
But another but another factor to consider, remember, is that like there might be some buyers who wait until that point to buy. And so the system really balances itself out as long as the idea is solid, which is it's incredibly solid. The idea is the smartest humans are going to be using this as a tool to pay themselves for delaying gratification. And so people are going to be very greedy with a tool like that helps their psychology and saves them from themselves. And so there's going to be plenty of people who are ending earlier or who are starting later who are going to be continuously staking 50, you know, the maximum. So I know that there's a lot to consider, and this is, you know, getting into more advanced areas of the, you know, giant video game that this is, right? But it's I mean, this is these are things that are important for us to consider. Like, well, you know, because remember, like for the whole past year, people have been making 5-5-5-5, but a lot of people haven't. They've been making 10-year stakes. So
right. Yeah, like I said, I started with the 5-5-5, then I laddered in for 1 through 10, and now I'm focusing on 11 through 14. And I hope that I can make 1 or 2 more purchases in the next couple of days and finish my ladder out. But I was so excited to make my first 5-5-5-5 stake on my very first stake, and then I was at like my 27th stake, and I was back to 5-5-5 again, and I thought that I start and I ended, you know, with the right way to do it, to go all the way. Now I have a handful of stakes that are all 15 years out. So I've been, like I said, trying to backtrack now and go back. HexKong in the chat says that there are compounding factors of interest. There's big payday ending, referral ending. I'm sorry, up above that he says the fact that there are multiple inputs of interest, T-shares, early end stake penalties, late end stake penalties. So that makes it compound, which makes sense.
I love that point. Thank you, HexKong. And remember, everybody, that like, you know, we've already got people who are thinking about generational wealth, right? And who that's becoming more and more important as the price goes up. As the price continues to go up, that's going to be more and more important as people think further into the future. If you want to go from being a turtle or a crab to the next level up, right? The way that you do that is by staking longer than average. And the longer you stake compared to the average, the higher you're going to raise your rank and the more you're going to grow your generational wealth.
Yeah, it's amazing just in the past 3 months what the cost of a T-share has become. I was so lucky to get in when I did because I didn't even know what I had. I didn't even know how great of a price I was getting on T-shares. And now, you know, when I'm staking similar amounts of money, I'm aware that the price has gone up, but I'm getting less T-shares, you know.
But T-shares has only gone up, what, 10% or 30%? And people are saying it's going to double or triple on big payday.
Well, the point I'm bringing up, Maddie, is that if the price happens to double, you know, obviously it costs you twice as much, and then the factor of the T-shares always going. So the price is 3x right now
in fiat,
for the most part, in fiat. Right. Yeah. And so I can easily see in the next year it doubling from where it is today. And so I would just like to express that, you know, not any financial advice for sure, but the reason I'm trying to get in as soon as I can is because I do believe that the price is going to continue to rise. And I've already seen the difference in 90 days. what can happen. So I know we're still all early, and Hex is at under a penny still, and I would still be pushing to put to onboard my family. But I have a sense of urgency now that I understand the T-shares more.
Me too. Me too. Awesome. Yeah. Amazing discussion here. Thank you all for tuning in. We have two more that we can cover. Oh, that's going to take us over 9. I lied to you. There's actually more narratives. HEX will be the first $1 trillion community. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Buckle up for the ride. I love that idea. I don't know how much explaining it really needs. But we in the past year or two, right, we've seen Apple become the first $1 trillion company. We saw Google then and Amazon follow in its steps, right? And then we saw them double because the printing machine goes brr or whatever.
Yeah.
And so but Bitcoin isn't going to be the first $1 trillion cryptocurrency. HEX is. And this is designed to address the $7 trillion market. That's just in Japan and America where certificates of deposit exist.
Right.
And so and the whole world is switching to negative interest rates and already have started to do that. This is going to revolutionize finance, and this is easy. This is the first $1 trillion community easily, I believe.
Because
market cap's vanity anyway, and if the OA stakes, they're gonna double the market cap there. I mean, we're gonna blow past these other cryptocurrencies very quickly as HEX becomes scarce. Let me go ahead and predict, not financial advice, that HEX is going to overtake Ethereum in December, at least, and I don't know, in the first 3 months of 2021, it's going to overtake Bitcoin.
Wow, it's a bold prediction, Matty.
I mean, once the HEX becomes scarce, and we're all still, there's only 20,000 people who have HEX? I
think
it's the best kept secret. We're all going to keep putting our financial energy into it. I've only cut down on my work, on my day job, to 50%. And so I'm going to keep buying HEX going forward. And so is everybody else. And, people are going to, new people are going to come in.
I think that your projection is right, that will overtake those. It's the time frame, but the potential, right? It just needs to take 14%.
Think about it. We're gonna triple or quadruple our money on big payday. Oh, but that doesn't go in the circulating supply.
Yeah.
But if the OA, okay, so so if everybody stakes short, then that could pump the market cap extremely. And that's going to happen. The other factor, and I was going to put this in, the other factor that's really going to make things interesting here is, this is probably the most important pumpamentum. What are the liquidity providers going to do? Are they going to keep their HEX locked up to provide liquidity for other people, and then they're not going to get the big payday bonus? No, they're going to wait right before big payday, and then I predict, I don't know for sure because I'm not a liquidity provider, but I think they're gonna throw all their HEX all of a sudden into stakes, even if it's short term, to get over the big payday, and then there's gonna be no liquidity. So there's gonna be like a 1 or 2 or 3 day period where we know that there's not going to be any HEX for sale because everybody's going to have it locked. So if one person comes in and wants HEX, we're going to decide what the price is going to be, and might be a quarter, it might be $1, But if the liquidity is continued to dry up, and that allows the price to be volatile. So the price of HEX could start swinging a lot. It could go really far down and really high up. But if it goes down, what happens? People like us buy it.
Yeah, so, new entry points as well, so the new people can get in. You know, it'll have multiple functions.
But yeah, I mean, what happens when nobody's selling HEX because of the big payday? Price go up.
What do you mean nobody's selling HEX because of the big payday?
Right now, the people who are selling HEX are the liquidity providers, right? Because that's how the decentralized exchange works. And so that liquidity continues to dry up as far as I know. And so there's some hidden game theory in here that says those liquidity providers, unless they want the price to be stable, which they may or may not, right? There could be a liquidity crisis that pumps the price significantly. And if anybody knows more than I do, please shout it out. But okay, Hex Kong says, I know the answer, price go up. Yeah. So this is, I promised you guys that those who stuck around the longest would have a chance to win, but would also get the best education. Those of you with the longest attention spans, I think, deserve to know the best nuggets about HEX. So this liquidity crisis that's coming potentially because HEX rewards people who stake for the big payday. If those liquidity providers move their liquidity to stakes, short-term stakes, there could be no HEX to buy. And the AA lobby stops for a day or two. You think that's a coincidence? No, that's been planned. So we're headed towards, I think, major price increase. And that's, just because you have a liquidity crisis, I mean, that sounds like a bad thing. It's like, is there liquidity shortage, right? It's HEX becoming scarce for the first time, like it's never been before. That doesn't necessarily maintain itself, right? It's like we kind of like it, but we kind of don't. I mean, it depends what it does. Richard has said if people get allergic to a price, to buying it at a certain price, then that can make the number go down. But I bought at 100 times lower than this, and I'm still buying. And so I think it's going to get really interesting here. I mean, we don't like it if people come in and buy at a quarter and then it crashes back down once the liquidity providers get on the other side. But I mean, what we're talking about is, maybe it's going to crash down to 5 cents or something, and but we still don't like it when there's corrections, but there are going to be corrections, right? Like that is what's going to happen. Is we know that the price of HEX is going to increase and then it's going to decrease. And then, but what's the trend ultimately is that people are going to wake up, they're going to realize there's a hard money, they're going to realize that Bitcoin isn't the most secure. And that brings us actually to the final narrative. But I want to find out, Joe, if you have any questions here.
I was just thinking that the time frame is amazing if that happens, and it's certainly possible. I think that beyond the time frame, we're only looking at 15% of the market, 14% of the market for CDs to get to that market cap that you're talking about, to have a $1 trillion market cap, right? So we have only 20,000 people into HEX potentially, not 200,000 like we talked about. It's not a magnitude of order higher than that. It's somewhere between that. And what's the potential, right? So you and I have had this conversation where it could be millions of people and potentially billions of people. So if this is the first blockchain certificate of deposit time locking, your money, and it's just catching on the way it is right now organically with people like you and I and the community watching right now. Yeah. Everybody is so intrigued by it and so captivated with it, and it truly is like a video game. I compare it, like I said to you, like Magic cards when I was younger. Like there's some fun in it, right? And And I believe that will be what takes it to the next level. I don't have fun, right? If I go to a bank and I give them my money and I buy a CD, that's not fun. And plus the returns are ridiculously low. But what happens when this does catch on and people realize that this is a great utility, a time store value of money? We're not really looking at having to take over an entire market, just 14% of a market, which is totally feasible. So I can see that happening, certainly within my lifetime, hopefully within the next decade. And if it happens in the next year, I mean, I can't even imagine how grateful I would be.
And even if the price of HEX gets to where it's going and stops appreciating, this is still going to be a financial technology that changes the world based on the points that we've already covered in HEXTherapy, where you're going to be able to pay yourself and write a contract that you have to keep in order to get that money. Like the things that are going to be built on HEX that are not shrimp farming are going to be amazing. We're not building those things yet because we're building the community right around like the first app, which is money. But then on top of money, you will be able to create things that have never existed before, because the technology that we're working with is a decentralized thing that is really a trust chain and is operating in ways that we're still learning about, but that will have a positive effect on people's health and allow people to pay themselves for for being better versions of themselves.
Right. So, and I don't know if the right word is overstated or understated, but what a great point that is. That it's, like we've talked about, not just the returns monetarily, but the fact that we're able to share stories with each other and spread the news about how our lives have become better, how we're more interested in our health and our mental well-being, and our spirituality. It's I can't think of anything else in my entire life that has driven me to want to take care of myself, to be around for the long term and make better decisions, not stop spending frivolous money. If I've been getting $50, $75 here and there, I've been putting it out for 15 years. And it's not a lot at every time I'm doing it, but I really enjoy it, and I know that its benefit is not about the return financially. Its benefit is making the right decision daily and driving me forward to do the next right thing,
Yes. Awesome points. Case in point there. Now I promise people to have a super original idea here and to save the best for last, right? So let me see if I'm still working on this idea. This is something that occurred to me today while I was going on a run to improve my health. And I kind of like meditate when I'm jogging and I practice what I preach as a mental health counselor. I help people become better versions of themselves and help problem solve and help people with emotional regulation and improving their skill set to have a higher quality of life. And I didn't learn how to practice what I preach until I've been doing that for a while and got excited about how other people how clients I've worked with have been able to change their lives for the positive. And then I say, like maybe I should be exercising and then I'll be able to help people better and enjoy the benefits myself. Without any further ado, okay, so I've been promoting this idea that that I learned from Richard, that I picked up in one of his talks, that one of the major problems with Bitcoin is that it's vulnerable to a Sybil attack. And so this is going to be an extremely interesting story. So I used to run a Bitcoin node, and so I know that what Richard has talked about when it comes to like double clicking an exe file, right, is that proves that Bitcoin is only having a social consensus, and that doesn't make it immutable. Hex has been locked into, it was written onto an Ethereum block, and it's the 2,000 plus lines of code can never be changed. The front end of the Hex website could be changed, but it has to still follow the rules that are set forth in the Hex contract, the smart contract. And if you read Programming Ethereum, it's a book by Andreas. It would be here, but I've been reading it, so it's probably one of my bags or something. But you can learn about how Ethereum smart contracts are written, and you can realize that you have kind of some of the foundational knowledge to understand really that Hex is so much more immutable, because Hex was written into a block that now has been buried by a year's worth of transactions. And so that's what makes it so secure, whereas Bitcoin maintains its security by not only proof of work, right, with the miners, but also with the nodes. There are 30,000, 50,000, somewhere in there, Bitcoin nodes that are, what they do is they just send the transactions and spread it throughout the network, so that the miners have something to mine. And so when you send a Bitcoin transaction, the nodes pick it up, they're listening for it, and then they transmit it to the miners, and then the miners validate those transactions to make sure that they weren't double spent, right? And they're burning tons of electricity to prove their honesty in the system, and that's why it's proof of waste. Now, a Sybil attack, it would be when if you got 50,000 computers and you just started running a different version of Bitcoin, right? Then based on the code of Bitcoin that's been written, you would be Bitcoin. That it's a Sybil attack in computing is when you pretend to be the real thing and you erode the credibility of the source that you're imitating, basically. So you could imitate Bitcoin and then by definition become Bitcoin. So let's see, here on Wikipedia, we can see what the definition is. And this actually relates to mental health. This Sybil attack was named after a famous case of psychology where somebody had a multiple personality. And so the definition here on Wikipedia says, in a Sybil attack, the attacker subverts the reputation system of a network service by creating a large number of fake identities, and that and uses them to gain a disproportionately large influence, right? And so this was also called pseudo spoofing before it was given this clever name of Sybil attack, because Sybil was a famous psychology case of a woman who was diagnosed with with dissociative identity disorder. So it's like this type of computing attack makes you question which Bitcoin is the real Bitcoin, because we don't know if all of the nodes, we don't know which ones are which. We don't know which nodes you're controlling versus the ones that were already there. And so this is the most clear way I've got so far to explain what a Sybil attack is. And it's kind of a cool story, right? That we, the identity is being dissociated because there's an imposter, right? And so Richard says, well, why hasn't somebody done this against Bitcoin? Because nobody's felt like it, right? How expensive is it to get 50,000 computers? What you can get, they make the requirements to run a Bitcoin node so low because they want it to be decentralized that you could take a bunch of $100 computers. Joe, what's the math on that? 50,000 times 100? 5 million? you still there? Oh, you're muted, Joe. Here, I just.
Sorry about that. Yes,
Oh,
$5 million at $100, and then just in case, I was looking up the $3,000 versions that like the minor type computers, which would be $150 million for 50,000 of them. At
yeah.
$3,000.
So all the Bitcoiners are always saying, oh, it's so expensive to attack us. You'd have to burn hundreds of millions of dollars to catch up, and blah blah blah. So reverse one transaction. You could take out the whole network by doing a Sybil attack, and it only costs $5 million, and that's not even that much hex compared to how much hex is was a $5 billion project in market cap not too long ago. So if we found a computer manufacturer that was willing to accept hex and not sell it, and we transferred that wealth, what would it be, a 1% fee for us, a 1% fee to take down the Bitcoin network and create a Sybil attack. I'm not suggesting that we do that, and I'm not fighting Bitcoin because Bitcoin's doing really great right now. And that is great for us. But if you want to understand the crypto space and how it's changed, right? I used to be a Bitcoin maximalist probably. Well, definitely for quite some time. So, but I wanted to seek a deeper understanding and not just be like parroting what people like Michael Saylor, who are really good at selling things, but he didn't finish doing his homework. Nobody can. I would love somebody who knows more than I do about Bitcoin, because there's plenty of people out there to explain what how a Sybil attack is not a threat or not a problem for Bitcoin. Okay, so here's even better. So I'm going to take this to a way different level. We are the nodes, right? So like even by saying this, we're taking away the reputation of Bitcoin as the hardest money. And so in a sense, we're doing a Sybil attack without computers. We're doing it with knowledge. So, I mean, I'm just going to tweet that real quick because I feel like that's...
Explain what do you mean more in detail, Maddie? Like...
I'll do it after. Sorry.
Because we are the nodes, so we're going around destroying the reputation essentially because we
believe so much. We're the miners, but we're also the nodes because we create the truth in Hex, which is the truth is that Hex has value because the project is finished and because rewarding yourself through compound interest and delayed gratification is the basic function of money. And so if you can do that better, then you have value. And people have already locked over $500 million into the future for years. That's never been done before. It's underappreciated. I'm sorry, what was the question?
Yeah, so the reputation is what we're basically our actions.
Yes. So the reputation that we're attacking is that Bitcoin is the best crypto. And as you learned from my elevator pitch, that Hex is 3G crypto for these reasons, right? Because it is not the hardest money, because it is not scarce, because we could take 1% of our Hex money, right? We could launch a Sybil attack and get rid of Bitcoin, not get rid of Bitcoin, but you get the idea. We could subvert its reputation, but we're already subverting its reputation by pointing out its flaws. And so that's why I'm saying what we're doing right now by having a deeper understanding of what Hex is and what hard money is and what makes these things valuable is we're exposing Bitcoin as being 1G crypto and Hex is 3G crypto. And that's a Sybil attack in and of itself, maybe, right? Because we're disassociating the identity of Bitcoin as the best crypto with Hex is the best crypto.
Thank you. I like that. I never knew what a Sybil attack was. I talked to my friend Paul about it a lot. He's one of the guys that loves Bitcoin. And he could perhaps shed some more light on it for me so that I could provide an argument to what you're looking for. I just don't know enough about it, and I'm interested in what it is. So I agree 100% that we are the nodes that believe in this 3G Hex crypto, and actions speak louder than words. So I've never heard
I would love somebody to prove me wrong or to educate me further, but this is my understanding at this time based on learning from Richard and from other experts in the space.
Cool.
Awesome. So did we get through the top 10?
We added a bonus one, so we did the 9 plus the big payday.
Yeah. Okay, so we challenge the reputation of the best crypto. Right? Because we are not just the miners, but also the nodes. Well, I don't know if that's what. Well, because HEX is the best crypto, and nodes are part of Bitcoin's security.
Right. That analogy makes me understand what a civil attack is much more. I guess I know so little about it that I can't even really speak on it. You know, I just like to hear about it.
Security / identity / decentralized network. We love using slashes to show that we kind of know what we're talking about.
Compound ideas.
Oh, yeah. You heard it here first, people. Whether it's right or wrong is up for you to do your own research. We really want to thank you for tuning in.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you, everybody.
Now, if it's okay with everybody, I would, I don't know how the treasure chest works and stuff, but I was thinking maybe to just take all the money, all the lemons that we get, donate to us. We're going to donate them to the other channels, to Hexologists, Discourse Syndicate, and anybody else we can find on DLive who loves Hex. And because I don't want to cash it out, I don't want people to come along and think they can buy our channel or anything. Not to say that they would, but like I just want to remain like impartial and be able to just give back everything and more. That's where we're at in our kind of production is that it's way more important to us that you see that we're trying to be honest and transparent and we're trying to get educated and I think the more that people in Hex give back to each other, right, that's going to create a compound community.
Maddie, do you think we could figure out how to do a raid tonight so that not only can we give away your T-shares frame, but after that we could dump everybody into a raid?
Oh, excellent idea.
And then maybe that would be a great place to put the lemons as well. So help promote somebody else and spread the word.
Attila says Hex is the only complete crypto project. Yes or no? Excellent question, and that's a topic for debate. And I don't want to give a bunch of false endings, so I know we are wrapping up here. Let's move that to Twitter discussions. Go ahead and tag one or both of us in that, and we'll be able to have a discussion on Twitter, and that way we'll be able to go across different platforms and make sure we hear from as many people as possible on that topic. I know that when I wrote the article here, 3gcrypto.com, I went back and changed it, right? Because there were a couple of spots where I had just said, that Hex was a project, but I've been listening to other people in the Hex space and they're catching themselves and saying, no, Hex is a product. Hex is a completed product, and that is one of the many things that makes it special. So, so I changed my wording in a couple of places where I was just thinking with my simple 2G crypto mind that wasn't evolved to 3G crypto yet. I was thinking, Hex is a great project. The community is a project. because it's growing, because we're contributing to it. HEX is a product because it's completed and it's immutable, and it's the most immutable crypto. I hope that gets the discussion started. And with that, we have to give away the T-shirt frame.
How do you want to do that, Maddie?
Okay, so this is gonna be fun. Okay, so the first person to send me 1 hex to the address that I have under tsharecoin.com. We'll even bring it up for you. First person to send me 1 hex is the winner. If more than 1 person sends me 1 hex, then if you're like the second or the third person, then you lose your 1 hex. I'm gonna keep it because 1 hex is a penny, right? So like, enter at your own risk. That's the cost of entering.
Maddie, how do you verify that the person that sends you the penny is the winner? That's also the one that you're going to send it to. Couldn't I just
darn. That's a good
point. Can I just say that I'm that person? You know what I mean? I can go look at the ETH address and see what was sent to you and tell you that I'm them.
I think we can post the Hex community is honest. So if we have more than 1 person who messages me and says that they're the winner, then we'll create then we'll verify it with.
They're extremely honest. I was asking because I was thinking maybe I could get a T-shirt frame, you know. So I was just wondering. Yeah, that was really cool because the last giveaway I didn't see the chat and somebody multiple people were very honest about who won last week. So
yeah,
it was really cool.
So what? I didn't send, or I didn't put the address on there. There is no address on there. We're gonna have to put it in the chat here.
Well, now that makes it a game. Now you got to find Maddie Allen's
I know,
address,
right? Yeah.
And the first one to send it.
But I might have posted more than once, so I'm gonna post it here if anybody's playing along. Remember, if you're gonna order one, send me a message first so I can give you an order number. So do I just paste it into the chat?
Yeah, paste it into the DLive chat. Your ETH address, and then share your screen on Etherscan and let's see what's happening. If you don't mind.
Good idea.
While we set up the raid.
Okay, yeah, good idea. Okay, so I'm gonna put it on. What about the people on YouTube and Periscope?
Share it everywhere. If you can type into all of those, post it on Twitter right now if you want. Yeah, Stars11, who won last week, said, yes, thank you to the community and a special shout out to Trustless for being honest. That was really awesome.
Oh, awesome. Did she get it yet?
I believe I forgot to look at her name.
I just sent it.
I think she said Friday the 13th. Is tomorrow the 13th?
Okay.
Yeah, so tomorrow she should be getting it, or he.
Okay, I put that into YouTube now. HEXshow.com takes you to our YouTube. Also, youtube.com/Maddie Allen takes you to our YouTube now. Thank you for following, everybody. If everybody can follow, we love that. We appreciate it.
Maddie, the question is, how much is gas right now? Because, like I said, it was $40 earlier today for a little while.
Wow.
I saw it dipped back down, but
I think Etherscan will tell us.
Okay.
Let me pull it up here. We love complicated giveaways. Yay!
And also, I think we're in like the right community. We're
Oh, somebody
almost.
sent it. Look at
Oh
that.
yeah, nice,
Wow, that was fast.
awesome.
Who's our winner? OX07CC. You are the winner. Come on down. This is fun. I love showing everybody my personal financial information and doing a giveaway this way, right?
Oh, I hope that was a burner type account, and not the main one.
No, this is a trust account. You should know I hold a decent amount of HEX. Like, I don't care.
Cool.
I'm honest about I have more than one account, but whatever.
Cool.
I know everybody who's following me at the IRS, it's not mine.
This is for entertainment purposes only. This is not for any financial advice.
Right. Yeah.
You know.
I doctored all these images, so it's not even true. Okay. Attila says mine is through. Somebody says last three are 81EE.
For HEXTherapy. HEXTherapy sent someone. I think he's saying, or she.
Oh, 81E. 81E. Yep. So that's the address.
Okay.
So HEXTherapy, is that you, or are you just helping us identify the winner?
I'm not sure.
Okay. Well,
I think he's helping identify the winner because
okay. Well,
because it is HEXTherapy, you know.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if somebody was just really fast in YouTube and they're HEXTherapy, it was you.
Wow, that's awesome. That's
awesome.
Amazing.
Yeah, good job.
That's great.
So, HEXTherapy, go ahead and message me on Twitter or Telegram. So t.me/MATIALLIN. And yeah, we'll get your address and ship it to you. Awesome. And Attila, thank you for playing. I know this was a weird type of giveaway, but wanted to keep mixing it up. So hope you guys don't mind. Oh, here, we got it from you. Maybe your address is that one. So,
So
good deal,
everybody,
yeah.
Everybody keep at least one liquid HEX from now on in case this happens again. So.
Wait, maybe not more than that, right?
Right, no more than that. No more than that.
Good job, everybody. Yeah, that I don't know. I just like doing weird stuff. So let's go ahead. Let's see how this raid works.
So President Joe Biden and I believe somebody else said to raid Mark Gaming Chat. He's a crypto guy. Get him into HEX. Can you see Mark Gaming Chat? I can try to send you the link if I can find it.
Mark with a K?
No, with a C. If anyone in the chat has the URL, please post it. We'll get going a little bit faster. I'm not an expert in DLive, obviously, so I'm scrolling through the browse page.
Thank you, everybody, for the tips. We appreciate it. Thank you for the tweets as well. This was fun. I wouldn't be surprised if Twitter's still going off a lot and it just stopped dinging my phone, gatekeeping the notifications.
Well, if you look on how to do the raid, and I'll try to figure out where Mark is.
Oh, maybe I should just search for cryptocurrency.
You could try that. There's a whole category for that. This guy is gaming.
Here we go. There's a category: cryptocurrency, and then
It's probably just us. Oh,
I
wow.
don't even know if we're categorized yet.
Oh, cool.
Maybe,
yeah, let's definitely go into
maybe
here. There's somebody here with 33 people watching. Virtual Futurist Conference, cryptocurrency in English. You see that one? I'll send you
this one.
Yeah. Fireside chat with Catherine Coley and Rachel Wolfson.
Is that the virtual, or is that something else?
Yeah, Virtual Futures Conference. And there's some activity in the chat, and it's cryptocurrency related, so I think that'd be a good way to spread the word. This would be interesting because I wonder, I haven't ever seen a DLive chat that was so formal, and I wonder how they're going to take it. So that'll be interesting to see. Yeah.
Does anybody know how I'm supposed to do this?
Let me just Google it real quick and see if anybody answers you in the time.
Okay. Thanks everybody for sticking around.
Are you looking?
The Hexologist is still hosting us. You might not be able to host until you have 200 followers. Oh, okay.
Oh, okay. We need 77, no, 74 more.
Well, we have 55 people on the.
You got 126 followers, though, Maddie.
Okay, that's amazing. Yeah, I appreciate it. So I mean, we could just post a link, and then people will be able to run over there and do a raid, right? Like it doesn't have to be so easy, you know, like. Awesome. Yeah, great. So this is where the people are going. They're gonna jump over there. I'll go over there too with you guys, and we will we'll join in and educate more. Attila's in. E-Type. Probably a bunch of people are already there, right?
All right, cool. Let's go check it out. Thank you, everybody. So
thank you.
We'll see you not next Thursday. Maddie Allen's going to be on the 24-hour.
Come check it out.
We'll be back maybe on Thanksgiving, Maddie. Why not?
Yes.
Right?
Yeah, we will.
Okay.
We'll be here every Thursday in one format or another. And thank you guys so much. Remember, not your health, not your wealth, and stake wisely, my friends. Peace out.
Good night, guys. Thank you. And girls, thank you.